one of the main questions we're getting right now is, what is the deal with these interest rates, these high, astronomical, off the chart interest rates? And right now what we're telling people is actually, these are pretty normal. So when you see these, 6-7% interest rates, they're scaring buyers off. And the reality is, we came from a historically low interest rate. We came from, mid 2s to 3% on average, 3.5%, which is just insane. And it may never happen again. So what we're seeing now is that the interest rates have gone back up to about 6% on average. You can still get locked in some cases, in your really high 4s. There's other things you can do to buy down, things like that, lock in your interest rate. So there's a lot of options there, but here's the deal. The reality is, I don't want you to be scared off because you think the interest rates are so high. This is normal, and in fact, for the entire history of real estate, these interest rates are pretty low, actually. If you look at every decade prior to, COVID era and everything hitting, where it was just a brutal market because interest rates were so low and there were so many buyers and low inventory, those interest rates were historically low. A 6, 7, 8 is actually pretty normal, and what we see over every decade in real estate for the past 50 years is that the average interest rate is actually 10%, which seems really high, and it kind of is, but it tells you exactly where we're at right now. I know it sounds gimmicky when I say now's the time to buy, but the reality is it's always the time to buy now in real estate, because what happens? We always look back in retrospect. We always look back and say, man, had I bought that piece of land or that home 2 years ago when I could have purchased it for that price, I would have been sitting on so much equity. And I hear that more than I've ever heard, man, I really shouldn't have bought that piece of property, or I really shouldn't have bought that piece of land. And so I just encourage you, if you're thinking about buying, now's the time for us to sit down, talk about what that looks like, and just have a conversation based around what you're looking for, what your budget is, and just really start talking about numbers, breaking down your monthly payments based on your interest rate and how much money you have to put down. So guys, there's a lot of options that we're going to be able to discuss and walk you through the entire process, but don't be scared away by what we're saying are crazy interest rates. It's just not the reality. The reality is that homes are still affordable, and if you get in now, because here's the other thing, this is what we should be more afraid of. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 6 months. We don't know what's going to happen in the next year or 2 years from now. What if interest rates are at 13, 14, 15% like they were in the 80s? And that's a possibility, because the likelihood of them going that way and trending up to a higher interest rate with the way the economy is moving is much more likely than them ever going back to 2.5%. So buy now, and we can help you with that. We can help you sit down, put a great plan together, and talk to you about what that process looks like. So if you have any questions on this, or you want to just meet and have a consultation, we'd love to sit down and talk to you about this further. If you have any questions, please comment, DM us. We'd love to answer those questions for you, and we'll be in touch. So hope that was helpful.